We're having some reasonably good luck with using video to show Photoshop, so let's try another video and see how that works. This photograph's not perfect. Well, I think we can make improvements on it. It's too dark. We need to lighten it up a little bit. And this tower over to the right really doesn't serve any purpose in the photograph. So let's see what we can do. To start with, we want to add some light to the photograph because it's underexposed. And I will go up to, oh, by the way, first thing you have to do in Photoshop, you have a concept called layers. Look over to the right where my mouse is. Now notice I have to select the layer. If I don't select that, then a lot of my commands will be grayed out, and we don't want that. So I'll go over to Image. I see Adjustments. Here's the Levels command. It's going to bring up a dialog box. Now what Levels does is Levels is looking at the light in the image. And in this image, we have a lot of light being averaged that's way outside the spectrum that we really care about. This area in the black's what we care about, and a little bit in the dark. So we'll bring this in a little bit, add a little bit of the dark, and we'll bring the light side way in, which is going to make everything above this particular band more white. And now that fixes a lot of our exposure issues. Next thing we need to do is crop the image. So we will go up to the crop command, and we will drag it down a little bit, and we will drag it in a lot to get rid of this tower. And now we've got something reasonably we can use. So there's the image that's cropped, and there's an improvement to a photograph that was otherwise unusable, of an eagle getting ready to land in a tree. Here's another photograph of an eagle we can work with. What you're looking at here on top of the Photoshop is an open dialog box, and if you look up at the top of this box, you can see this is a camera raw image. So we haven't imported this into Photoshop yet, but it's a raw image. It's unprocessed. It's not ready for printing or anything else until we do process it. And let's see if we can do something with it. To start with, we'll actually open the image. It'll create another tab in Photoshop right here. It'll be the new image opening up. It's reading the camera raw. Now we have some similar issues that we had before. We need to be able to change the lighting. First of all, I need to go over to the layer to the right. I'll double click that, bring that in so you can see basically I'm unlocking that layer. I'm going to leave it selected. I'm going to go up to Image. I'm going to go to Adjustments and Levels. Do the same thing we did with the last image, which is to go down here and brighten this up a little bit. I'm going to bring the darks back a little to add some color. Now we're looking much better. Now the question is, what can we do with this image? We've got way too much sky and not enough bird. So let's go to crop. Now let's crop a piece of the bird here and see if we can get ourselves a decent eagle. Go up and hit the check mark to accept the crop. Expand it so I can see it. Oh, we have nice focus here. Now we have something we can work with. This is very nice. So now we have a pretty good picture of an eagle. We can do a lot of things with this eagle. We can print it like it is. We can make other enhancements to it. We might, for instance, want to go up into the image adjustments and look at levels one more time. And now as you can see, levels is different. It's got a different band now that we've done this. Maybe we'll make it just a little bit lighter. Add a little bit of the darkness back to it. What that does is reduces the color range from the lights to the darks. Actually, I think I've got a little too dark here, so I'm going to go back and pull that back out. Bring my lights in just a little more. Now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustments, and I'm going to go to Hue, Saturation. This box you haven't seen before, But one of the things this will do is it's quite nice. Hue will change your color. Saturation changes your tone of the color. And lightness, of course, takes things from light to dark. So if I want to increase lightness just a touch, I can do that. And I can change the saturation strength of the colors. Let me move this up just a little bit. See what it does. Move it up a lot and see what it does. Oh, we add a lot of blue. We kind of get, the wing doesn't look quite so good now. I'll bring it back down. As you can see, this, matter of fact, if I take saturation all the way over to here, I create a black and white photo. If I take it all the way over to the extreme, which I'm not interested in doing. So we'll put it back about in the middle. Maybe we want to move our blue over just a little bit. Make things a little bluer in the sky there. Not quite so blue. You can also type in here. So if I want this to be a 5 instead of a 7, I just hit the 5 on the keyboard. Now we have a photograph that is usable and wasn't. And we were focused enough that we could really zoom in on it. And if you look up here, you can see it's a 5 by 4 by 5 image, which would expand out to an 8 by 10 relatively nicely. Now if you put a frame around this and you were to put some formatting and framing around it, you might have yourself a pretty nice photograph from something that originally looked pretty dreary. Now let's go back and look at what it looked like in the beginning. Let's go back to the very heart of the matter. That's what we looked like to start with, and that's where we ended up.